live.
Here we go, another day, a nice day. Not super hot, but comfortable.
Well, that's really old manish.
And welcome back from the tour down east or down south.
Down south, yeah.
And brought back good visions of war and where. Anyways,
hi, baby.
A lot to talk about.
Lots to talk about, but I got the Duker first. Hello, baby.
Lot to talk about. We, I guess we'll start off with the ugly stuff.
Yeah.
We had an incident in Buffalo last weekend, and complete insane asshole, jackass.
Drives 3.5 hours to come to my city, bastard.
And goes into a Tops and just shoots completely innocent people for no whatever reason.
Well, reason of hatred.
Hatred, evil. And kudos to the police officer, a retired police officer, whose son lives next to my mom on Applewood.
Oh my God!
And nice
Small
guy,
world.
wonderful guy. And that guy had a set of nuts on him because he confronted this guy, put a couple rounds into him, but he had armor and a helmet. Probably saved quite a few lives.
Yeah.
And obviously those police officers that showed up immediately and ran in, now they didn't realize what they were going into, but they ran immediately in and confronted this guy.
So let's remember that, okay?
Yep.
It's not all about parking tickets, all right? These guys, in a moment's notice, can be in the middle of a shitstorm, and they were.
Yeah, in the middle of the day, not expecting it, something like that, period.
Right.
And the guy's changed, this punk has changed lives forever. And one thing I do want to point out, though, again, unfortunately, some politicians and media wanted to turn it into a racial thing, and I don't think he said he hated blacks, but the bottom line is he shot whites too, and I guess he said sorry to the one, but that's evil. And
I think, let's talk about, he had this crazy manifesto, and he hated blacks, he hated Jews, he hated Fox News.
Yet our local Yellow Page guys went on a tirade about the other day saying that they blamed Fox News for this. There's nobody to blame for this.
You know who's to blame, actually? This constant battering of divisiveness between white and black all over the screen. That's number one. Number two, where are the parents? This kid, less than a year ago, threatened an entire school to kill them all.
And he's modifying the stock on his rifle. I know growing up, my mom, there was a couple times she found beer cans in my car, and she said, he's going to get his drunk driving or whatever I was going to do, which I wasn't doing that particular time anyway. And my dad goes, he doesn't care. The truth is,
our parents knew what we were doing.
My God, yes. And if I'm down changing the stock on my gun, nobody knew anything about that. And maybe the FBI would have been more involved in that case had they not been working on parents finding out what their school boards are doing. But that's another story. But just to prove this racism horseshit, Brandon came to town, and the reason why he ran for president again, it's the same speech. He saw the guys coming out of the fields with torches and hoods, and he knew he had to run. I don't know what he's talking about. Obviously, Donald Trump. Trump had nothing to do with any of that.
Oh, Charleston?
Yeah, that's what he brings up all the time. Trump had nothing to do with it. There wasn't... MAGA people aren't racist, and there's no... Everyone was working. This country was so much better.
Oh, my God.
And this asshole hated everybody, this punk. He hated everybody, and until we realize every crime's a hate crime, right?
You go into a bodega with a gun, and the guy gives you money, and you shoot him anyway. That's hate.
At the store over here at 7-Eleven, just not long ago, that young girl
by my house,
he blew her away, and there's evil out there,
and that's a white guy. And by the way, I don't care what color he is. That's evil.
It is evil, and yet we're putting in people in office that seem to be lessening the time for these crimes.
Yeah.
Not punishing anybody, and but now in this case, this guy has to be punished.
Yeah, and he will be. I think one of the things that
I'm being sarcastic.
No, I know. I'm just gonna say though, the guy goes in as a 100% coward in my book.
Oh God!
First of all, he Kevlar's up. so that when the cops do come after he mutilates these poor people, when the cops do come, he can throw his hands up and I give. Yeah, you cowardly piece of shit. Then he goes in with some court-appointed attorney, not guilty.
You know,
And he films it live.
Yeah.
You read there are films. I think they came down, but there were literally films out there.
I saw some of it.
Of brains being blown out. You piece of
I saw
raw
it.
dirt.
And he should be on a Friday night at the gallows or electric chair.
Yeah. Oh,
You know?
I buy tickets. I'm not kidding.
No, I agree. And
I buy tickets.
he, if you really want to be a tough guy, hit that same neighborhood or maybe Dewey or Coons about 2 in the morning.
About 1, 2 in the morning.
And you're going to be outgunned, jack off.
Yeah.
But you're too much of a coward for that. And just like in the old days with the Klan, you're going to ride a school bus over or burn a church.
Yeah.
It's all cowardly horseshit. And
cowardly
nobody's
shit.
promoting that. And this what do they call it now? Replacement theory. What the hell is everybody talking about? I just like good people.
I want good people.
And to downplay the race shit again, right? Who comes to the aid? I mean, factory companies, the Sabres, Bills, Bandits, all kinds of people, Uber, DoorDash, everybody's helping out. We all feel sick about this. Those are all good people that didn't deserve any of that shit.
You look at these people that died. I mean, there's a couple of them. 77-year-old grandma,
And no
85-year-old grandma. Come on.
No reason for
cowardly
it. And
piece
that's
of dirt.
evil. And you know what? We've said it before in the show. These church parking lots, whatever denomination, are empty. Yet there's clubs, and I'm not making this up, there's Satan clubs in schools that's allowed. But a guy tries to take the football team and kneel, and he's suspended.
It's going to the courts.
Where are we going here?
It's going to the courts.
A teacher talks about God. Oh my God! But yet a teacher can, in Williamsville, a teacher, little girl, I'm not going to say who, went to kindergarten class dressed in a dress, and she came home all upset because the teacher said, "Well, anybody can wear a dress because you really aren't what you are yet." And she said, "I thought I was a little girl." I'll strangle that bitch. No, sir, this is evil.
And
this isn't woke. This is evil, satanic shit.
And by the way, that right there in Williamsville, New York, is the reason that the hated governor in Florida came up with a bill.
Right.
Until they're 8 years old, you can't talk about that.
It shouldn't be in school at all.
That's for parents.
And in Portland, there's now in men's rooms, menstrual and girls' hygiene products. We're talking about, again, less than 1% of the population is transgender, and we're bowing over to this shit. I'm getting off the beaten path.
Okay, I
To
understand.
put down the racism, though, white people from all over are appalled
this.
and
They're
denounced. Nobody cheered that.
No.
And let's remember the
I was
police
sick.
officers and that security guard that went into action. God, I wish there would have been somebody else in there too, strapping a gun. All the people that have gone to help, the athletes, the fans, my kids, your kids.
And before you say it was just the Bills because they're mostly black, the Sabres aren't, and neither
No,
are the Bandits.
neither are the Bandits.
And
No.
they're down there too. This is
And-
not about black or white. This is about
No, and they're
a
coming to the aid.
community.
But let's not publicize this asshole or the stupid correctional officer that posted "clean up an aisles 2, 3, and 4."
Oh my God.
That's an asshole. And let's forget about that and remember the good things that happened. And
I do like that the big focus has been on the victims. There has
Damn
been a
right.
huge focus on the victims. Normally, we got to hear about this jagoff from Binghamton, on and on and on and on. You know, when he was born, when he was molested. At this point, I haven't heard much, and I'm glad.
they need to start cracking down too on the parents. Now, I know in a lot of cases they do have no idea.
Right.
And they do try, but there has to be a little bit of pressure there, because my dad and mom knew. I came home one time I went with Pete and his dad to the racetrack. We won $900 in a box.
Trifecta?
And my mom's like, "Where did you get the money?"
Yeah.
Mom, I wanted the racetrack, but my
She
mom
wanted
and
to
dad
know
knew
if
what the
you-
hell was going on.
I was going to say, they want to know, were you selling drugs or weed or something?
Myself, which wouldn't have got $300,
Well,
but that's
you're
another
not getting
story.
300 for that.
But no, but you got to start looking back at these scumbags, and the system was in place and it failed.
Right.
I mean, this guy threatened his class. He hated everybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't white and
He
black.
was
He
all
hated
over
everybody.
social media, and he hated everybody, and it was missed.
We can't be one-sided with this too. There was a Christmas parade that was destroyed by a guy. was a guy that went through the subway trying to kill whites and Asian. It's evil, evil, evil.
That's right.
And it's got to stop. And it will stop when we get back to law and order.
Yeah.
How's that defunding the police looking now?
Well, Shitstick did come out. I'll give him one minor bit of credit. He came out about 2 weeks ago, and he wants people to use the excess COVID money to hire more police officers. Well, it's about time.
Well, we've already used a lot of our excess COVID money to. There's one school district that went to completely electric buses,
and then we're
covering the 33.
We need to cover the 33 for a
right.
billion. Are you ready for this? $1 billion.
And by the way, with Shitstick, I'm jumping to him for a sec. He talks about the only president that's lowered the deficit only because his $9 trillion big back better
Built back
from the bottom up and the inside out, and the ears in and the eyes out, and all this horse shit.
Didn't pass.
Didn't pass. Otherwise, it was $9 trillion. And by the way, sad news: the little boy in I think is very sick in Virginia. That for real, he was going to help lower his insulin.
Oh.
You know, the 2-year speech. I think the little kid's very
he
ill.
said that
now.
for 2 years.
2 years now. He's working on lowering the insulin cost. And his dad used to say, "Joey, sit down." I said, "Did you stain your drawers again?"
You shat yourself.
No, but
Joey.
guys, that was evil. Please, you want to get something in schools? CRT. How about critical respect theory again? And stop all this Marxist horseshit that's going on. And don't think some of that angered this miswoven jackass.
Yeah.
But it's not Fox News. It's not Tucker Carlson. It's evil. There's a lot of anger. And by the way, you mail ordered in a president, not probably most of our viewers, but a mail that promised to heal the country, and he's done nowhere near. In fact, he's done nothing.
Nothing. He's got nothing to talk about. Well, yes, he does, because Supreme Court let something leak. And let me tell you something. That was Watergate. I said it before. Someone let that leak, and that's because now the Democrats have something to blame on the Republicans.
And they're deflecting all from the horrible situation. They're protesting
Mexico,
outside the Supreme Court justices' homes, but they're being told to by the Maxine Waters, the Chuck Schumers, the Lovejoy in Chicago.
It's crazy.
You know, get in their faces. The useless vice president who bailed out BLM. And let's not let BLM off the hook. We hear about the insurrection, which was disgusting, right? But never BLM comes up. No. Or Antifa.
Portland.
Punching people out and attacking people. And by the way, one last thing, we had a lot of awesome money and donations. What was BLM's donation to this mess?
Nothing. And they're now under investigation for the leaders who are Marxists, we've said it 1,000 times, buying mansions and putting their relatives on the payrolls at hundreds of thousands of dollars. BLM is not a pro-black movement. Just everybody understand that. It's Marxist people who found a way to cheat people. That's all it is.
It really is, and it's a lot of it's
guilt money.
So many white people have been forced into this guilt. It's got nothing to do with us, the slavery and all this nonsense. We fought a war. The white race is the only race that stopped slavery.
600,000
we stop it?
Died.
And by the way, too, everybody, kids, there's evil out there, right? And this was atrocious in the city.
Oh my God.
There was a mass shooting not long ago on the Indian reservation.
Yeah.
And obviously the parade, and people are donating food and going down to help out. That is all wonderful. The next time there's a blood drive, you can help out there too.
Yeah.
And
you can help out when there's anything like this in any neighborhood.
Exactly.
For example, if somebody shot up South Chickawaga, should I expect that free food? I don't quite understand sometimes.
And it's wonderful, and we don't want to take from that, but a lot of evils happening out there, guys, and
you said
stay
evil
focused.
A lot today.
Well, because it's unfortunate.
You're really getting a lot of evil.
And now, this community is a strong community, and we don't like any of that. We're not racist.
Not at all.
We elected a black man as president of the United States in a landslide.
Twice in a landslide.
Come on, stop the racism shit.
We're not.
And those things on garage doors, they're to grab it so you can pull the garage door down. Can we please stop
It's not a noose.
Right.
So I was going to say something. You've heard me talk about my brother before, a decorated Marine War veteran. This poor guy is getting bounced around the VA like you cannot believe for what they owe him. So I finally told him, I said, Mike, why don't you just, fly to, Mexico, get off of Tijuana and walk through the Rio Grande.
You'd be better taken care of.
And you'll get $1,000 to start with a new cell phone, and they'll fly you where you want to go. And you can, as soon as you get to New York, you can go on welfare, and God forbid you had somebody
They're-
pregnant, you could get her a free abortion.
4 days now from Title 42 going away.
Yeah,
They're building up at the border, and they're
insane.
talking 20,000 a day.
A day.
The fentanyl that's coming through the border that they've collected
Right.
is enough to kill this country 3 times over.
Well, and the sad thing about fentanyl is a gram is, or an ounce is 28 grams. Okay, 28 grams can kill 3,000 people. So you think an ounce? Think about that.
Yeah.
In other words, you breathe any of that dust in,
Right.
or a couple of granules, or it's thrown into your pills, you're dead. You're dead.
And it's coming through, and our president is doing zilch.
No, he's
to
doing
stop
nothing.
And now, the abortion thing, you heard our views on that last show.
Yeah.
Of course, there was somebody testifying in Congress today, or maybe it was yesterday now,
Did you see it?
who actually testified that men can indeed give birth.
Give birth and
Give birth.
breastfeed.
Now, obviously, she's talking about the I'm not sure what I am
Right.
type thing, but it's whatever.
I don't know.
But
I
it's-
still don't know if you can do that. Don't you have to have a real reproductive system? I don't know.
Well,
I don't,
they're
you
talking
know what?
about
I don't
the
want to learn.
conversion. They're
I don't,
talking about Jane, who
becoming
becomes
Jim and-
Janan,
I don't
and then
want to.
still has both parts.
I don't want to know this.
No,
I
it's
just,
it's absurd.
but do
By
what
the
you
way-
want. But again, if you're 0.5% of the population, why am I putting maxi pads in men's room?
And guys, that again, our leadership brings up racism for abortion. Yet, I think less than 8% of the abortions are by minorities. These are white girls,
That are using
Well,
it for
birth control.
birth control.
But whatever. It is a life, and we shouldn't be celebrating. They're promising the summer of rage
Summer of rage.
over abortion.
Well, the other thing I got to say, and you said it last time we filmed, is that so Letitia James comes out. She wants $50 million for free abortions in New York. Why? Why would
do
I
gotta
pay for
for
somebody
that?
else coming up from Carolina?
Why do I got to pay for that? Abortion is a sad thing, right?
It is.
I know we're told by some of the media that it's these horny uncles impregnating family members.
What about the pygmies?
There's some rumors going on. There's a renegade pygmy tribesman running the country, raping, and now these women are forced to have these 2-inch babies. It's ridiculous.
And Tom,
Nobody begrudges.
You
a
said it
rape.
last time too, right? And the last time you said it
Look
right
down.
is that they got to, whoever does this. I'm not going to be judgmental.
Right.
You got to meet your
You got to
maker.
meet your maker.
And whatever happens up there or down, whatever, that's good for you. But I don't want to pay for it.
I was against a buddy of mine had a vending machine at the women's clinic downtown, and we would take the vending products in, and they would boo us and killers, because it was either side.
You were putting like
putting
cheese
chips in the machine, but people were going to that clinic for regular woman care.
Yeah.
It wasn't just
Wasn't
everybody
just-
going to having an abortion.
Right.
And that was before this transgender stuff, so it wasn't us. But
No, it
anyways,
wasn't
we're divided, and
We need to come back together. There's
yeah,
no
we
question.
do. And this guy and this administration isn't the answer. And
Choose love. And I'm not saying Trump's the answer either. 'cause
get back
he's
to church. Get back to respect. Respect one another.
Yeah.
Good people don't want any of this horse shit going on, and in the schools and brainwashing our little kids and stuff. It's all gotta stop.
Yeah, Duke,
Yeah,
it's
it
gotta
really
stop,
does.
Duke.
Anyways,
gotta
it's
stop.
community reached out. There's more going on downtown, and good. I think love came out of this. This guy failed at what he wanted to do,
Yep.
and my daughter said, "I hope he gets his in prison." Listen, guys, that old fallacy's a fallacy in itself. This prison justice, I always tell the story, honey. I went to the prison and I talked to a man called Big Bubba, and he robbed a liquor store and shot the owners, but he's not into rape, and he's promised that he's going to rectify the situation. Now, there's none of that. The strong survive in those places, and
I think Big Black Bubba is going to have his way with little faggy from.
yeah, but
from
you also got the neo Nazis in there and the crypt and it's all garbage,
Yeah.
and he should Epstein. This
Yeah.
guy should be Epstein.
Yeah, to have a couple, put him in a suicide watch,
Who
and then
cares?
a couple guys walk away, turn the cameras off.
Get the guy that supposedly fell asleep with Epstein while El Chavo was down the hall going, "Hey, Gringo! They're hanging Gringo!" because he was 2 cells down.
Right.
But no, it's this guy needs to go to meet his maker in a big way. But
That's funny. Ringo.
right away, it's disarm everybody. No, we got to get back to everybody carrying some kind of 6-speed. Because guys, really, in all sincerity, that was horrible. But there's Town Park, there's shootings. There's 2 stabbings at the track back here. I used to love to go walk on that track.
Yeah.
2 stabbings. The Galleria Mall, you almost have to get Kevlar to just go shop there.
It's not Kevlar. It's Kevlar, but I'll talk
That
to you
too.
about
That too.
Yeah, that too. No, I and for those of you that know me, I got to get out of here by 6.
Right. Well,
I mean,
exactly. Jim Croce said it best. Give love a chance, right? Jimmy Croce, give love a chance.
That's John Lennon, and let's give peace a chance.
Yep.
Okay.
And you got it.
Jim Croce. What do you thinking? Bad boy, bad Leroy
You got
Brown?
it. You got it. But anyways, guys, our sports channel here went completely into this dissection. Look, I turn on that for updates on the Bills
We want
and
to get
Sabres.
away.
I don't
from
hear
this.
Howard Simon or that inflated cousin Ed's opinion on all this nonsense. And I will say one last thing on the issue. Thank God Byron Brown was our mayor, because the man did handle the whole situation with class,
Yeah.
dignity,
Yep.
and he's well spoken.
He's got an Indian wall.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
Yep. So, anyways, on that, guys, get back to respect, and by all means, get back to. I'm a Jesus, man. I mean, start. I haven't gone since COVID. I'm guilty of it too. I do pray and all that stuff too, but these church parking lots are empty,
Yeah.
and
Even the
that's
dog
part of the
churches
problem.
are empty. Good
well, they
place to
are.
go.
Dog parks. There's what's going on in the dog parks. So don't get me going on that, because now you get these cockadoodle shepherds. And I saw a wiener dog and a shepherd. It had a shepherd's head with this wiener body. Thing couldn't even move. It was laying on the ground.
It's
And
good
it's these dog parks. It's running rampant.
Spooky. That's
But anyways,
so let's talk a little. Well, maybe Hamburg. It's not much going on at Sabres.
Sabres and Bills are in Bandits. Guys are going into the game 2 of their Eastern Conference Championship against the Toronto Rock.
The Rock.
You can watch the games if you stream them. I'm not sure how to do it, but I listen on the radio to John Gertler, who is by far the worst
horrific
announcer
on radio.
on
You have
anything.
no idea what's going on.
Awful. They're going to play Saturday in Toronto.
Yep.
And the Amerks tonight play their game 5
In Utica.
in Utica,
It's Toronto, by the way.
Toronto,
Toronto.
and in Hamilton actually. And from what my listening, I've been listening to the Amerks games, and then I said the last time Rick Sealing was doing the color in some of the games. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I had friends of the show were actually in 2 of the games. I think what the Sabres have to address, and maybe they have, maybe they haven't yet, we're lacking a little bit of that sandpaper,
Yeah.
that grit, because it seems teams are physicaling the Amerks, especially Quinn and Peterka.
Right.
Now they're fighting through it and they're scoring, and we won the first series and we got a chance to win this series, but we need a little more physicality,
We definitely do.
especially on our roster. You saw it at the end of the season. Teams weren't getting the easy win with us anymore. So
So
rough
start
up
banging
Darlene
you. Yep.
and this stuff. And we need, it can't be talking at it. We need a couple of big boys or a little grit. I was kind of hoping it would be the Murray kid, but
And it may be. But
it may be,
who knows?
but I'm not getting good reports. But again, it is what it is. Rochester, some of the names that have played really well for them, Arttu Ruostalainen.
Hope we don't go. He's a free agent, restricted. Hopefully, we see now enough to sign him and keep him around. And I think he could be on this team in the NHL.
Mark, right? I agree with you. Mark Jankowski's played well.
He's
Quinn,
probably an AHLer though.
probably. Quinn Paterka and Krebs are
Yeah.
very good together.
They're AHLers.
They were
Or
trying.
NHLers, sorry.
The coach down there, Eppert, was trying to split them up to get them away from what Utica was doing, and they're playing well. And that the Fitzgerald kid on D,
He's
really solid.
He belongs with the Sabres.
Samuelson has been hurt; he hasn't been able to play.
And UPL again.
UPL was hurt on kind of a cheap shot, but he's out again.
Out again.
He hasn't played.
So we got Farmer in the Dell,
I'm
who
trying to think
plays
of the
good
name,
enough
though.
to keep you in it and then collapses.
Bakar is out for the year.
Bakar.
Linus Weensbach, the other little Finnish kid or whatever from Wisconsin, U or whatever.
Yeah.
He's back skating. He could return.
Weisbeck is a German kid.
Oh, okay. And he's back. And
He sleeps with Paterno.
the scary thing I haven't heard was Scary Laskinen, who was a real good defenseman all year, and he has not played. I did not hear him on the injury report.
I don't think he's injured. I think he's a sit-down.
Now, friends of the show who went to the last game knew my daughter's boyfriend's dad, Coach Brian Schmelzer, I think his name is. He played for Williamsville East, the Junior Sabres. He's the captain of the Utica team. He actually said after the game that their game plan is to indeed physical the Sabres and pound them, or the Hammers.
Pound them.
And so look for the Sabres. They're not dumb.
And he said, unfortunately, and they got a goalie that doesn't belong.
And that is hurting. Dell has had his moments, but lowest save percentage in the AHL playoffs, I believe.
Yeah, he is.
And of course we know up here what it is. So that's got to be addressed. And look for some sandpaper, some grit. Maybe we got him as draft picks somewhere. I don't know, but that would be something that stuck out to me.
Well, that's a really good synopsis.
20 over 6,000, and that's my scouting report.
Good job.
And you know what?
Well, use friends.
I'm probably on.
Use friends of the show.
I hear.
You hear well.
I see mostly by feel.
Yeah.
Gets me in trouble sometimes, but sometimes it works out pretty good. Anyways.
Buffalo Bills, they had a rookie minicamp. I'm hearing incredible things about our fifth-round pick.
The Reese.
Shakir.
Oh, the receiver, yeah.
He
smooth as silk, huh?
And I'm reading a lot of national things that are saying it is an absolute. He might be the steal of the entire draft in the fifth round.
One thing they were talking about, everybody was asking about the punter. Those guys were inside. They weren't outside where the media could see. They were punting. And funny, but I heard it from a good source. In the parking lot, a ball started bouncing around and came right through the roof of the Ralph C. Wilson Ad Pro Junior Coke.
Johnny's Meat Jerky Stadium.
Field house. He actually kicked one right through the roof.
Wow. Actually, you know what they said? They said they kept him indoors to avoid all the focus from the media.
Right.
Just let him do his kicks, talk to him, and coach him in there as opposed to everybody trying to see this guy.
One of the things, and you take it from the Masters and all that stuff, he'd be punting and people were yelling Baba Booey.
Well, exactly. And I still don't get it, but...
Me neither.
No, he's. I think this is going to be a hell of a football team. What we got to do is, they have to do what I'm trying not to do, which is don't read your press clippings. It's one game at a time.
Yeah, I don't think there's a worry about that.
Everybody, they got a good coach, a general manager, and coaches to say, one game at a time.
Sunday they had a softball charity game, Micah Hyde. I am going to that next year.
Yes, you are.
I want to go to that, but they had a home run hitting contest. Josh Allen won it again. But my kids went down. They said it was a lot of fun. The team, the interaction, standing ovation for Trey Day. He was there. He wasn't participating, but he was there.
He didn't want to be acknowledged.
13,000 people attended this softball game.
How much was the ticket?
I don't know, but Tyler Bass went yard a couple of times.
Yeah.
Spencer Brown. The interactions
and the
between the guys.
DBTO
for the second straight year. Jordan Poyer was in attendance.
Oh.
He was actually hit by a pitch by Casey Keenum.
Oh, man.
And they stormed the mound.
And they fought.
It was
Keenum's on IR. Yeah. And just think about this. I don't know where...
Kiddingly, by the way, that happened.
Right. I don't know where Stephon Diggs lives, but Stephon Diggs and Poyer took red eyes to get to the Bills being at Jefferson Avenue yesterday. I mean, these guys care. They could easily say, "Hey, I had something wherever they live, and I can't get there." Boy, they got there.
Bottom line, too, there's a lot more good people on this planet, in this country, than evil, and it's time for us all to stick together and stop blaming this and that, and just call it what it is: evil. Yeah. And one last hypocritical thing, you got me going now.
Okay.
Anthony Bottoms lured two police officers into a apartment building in New York City about 25 years ago and assassinated both of them. One of them laying wounded, and he stood over him, shot him in the head. He's been bailed out, and now is doing a concert tour with these SUNY colleges, and it's ridiculous.
I find it absurd.
Guy should be in jail for the rest of his life too. Let's not be hypocritical.
Absolutely absurd.
Anyways,
so anyway, good to be back from Florida. I did come back yesterday or Tuesday to 57 degrees. I'm not happy about that, but it looks like we're warming up.
love a chance. Give peace a chance.
Yeah, well, again, it was Lennon, but thank you. Croce did sing some nice songs.
He did.
She about Bad Leroy Brown.
Oh,
but-
that was a hit
Yeah.
back in the day. Right?
Remember back in the day?
Croce and
Remember BTO?
oh yeah, and Cats in the Cradle, Silver Spoon.
Let it roll.
He was at Newman, you know. Croce sang that Cats in the Cradle and
No,
a
that was
Silver
Harry
Spoon.
Chapin. Or as my friend Kenny O'Brien and Roger Straw call him, Dead Harry.
Anyways, that's it.
That's it. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, and I can't think of much more. Hi,
Not
everybody.
much. Just seriously, let's all try, including myself, to look at things from a different perspective.
Yeah, and we got to push Satan back to where he belongs. Yeah,
Burning in hell.
that's right.
All right, man.
Take care, guys.
We'll
See you
see ya.
soon.
I don't have it.